Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss with you a new chapter, that is compound interest. In the earlier classes you learned about the simple interest. Simple interest, you know the formula and the term associated with it, that is SI is equal to P into R into T by 100, and amount is equal to P plus SI. We have done, all of you have done lots of sums, so you are clear about the concept of simple interest and what is amount. Now, what is compound interest? In compound interest, your principal keep on changing every year or any specified period. I'll take an example to illustrate you what is the difference between the simple interest and compound interest. Now, for example, if I take a principal, if my principal is rupees 1000, rate of interest is 10% and time is 2 years. So if I calculate SI, so my principal, that is rupees 1000, remains the same for 2 years. So SI is equal to 1000 P into R into T by 100. 20 will get cancelled. 10 into 10, 100 into 2, 200. That means at the end of 2 years, your money earn an interest of 200 rupees. Now, suppose the same principal or the sum is deposited at the same rate for the same period, but this time it is compounded yearly. Compounded yearly. So compounded yearly means whatever the interest you gained at the end of first year, that interest will be added with your principal for the next term. That means compounded yearly means at the end of first year, at the end of second year, your principal is going to be calculated and your interest is going to be calculated, and that interest will be added with your principal for the next term. So, for the first year, P remains the same, R remains the same, but T we are calculating compounded yearly. That means at the end of first year, we are calculating interest on this principal. Clear? So each time your time will be 1 or the information provided in the sum. So SI is equal to 1000 into 10 into 1 by 100. So at the end of first year, you gain or you earn an interest of rupees 100. Now this rupees 100 will added with your principal. That means we can say that amount at the end of first year will become P for second year. That means whatever the amount is accumulated at the end of first year, that amount will become the principal. So 1000 rupees was our principal and we earned an interest of rupees 100. So at the end of first year, the principal will become 1100. Now we calculate the interest gain for the second year. So we write for second year. So for second year, SI is equal to P R 10% and T compounded yearly 1 into 100. So you are getting 110. Clear? Now this SI is 110. So CI is equal to CI, whatever the interest you earn at the first year, you earn an interest of 100 rupees in the very first year. So rupees 100 plus 110. That is your interest for the second year. So total interest earned is equal to 210. Now see, same money is deposited at the same rate for the same period. But if you deposit this money at a simple interest, you are gaining or you are earning an interest of rupees 200. Whereas in compound interest, you are earning a interest of 210. This is because you are getting an additional interest on this rupees 100. That means you are getting interest earned during the previous term, because each time your principal is changing. So CI is equal to 210, and in this case amount will become, principal is 1000 rupees 1000, and CI is 210. So your amount will be equal to rupees 1210. Now if it is compounded yearly, so we put the T is equal to 1. If it is given as compounded half yearly, so we will put T is equal to, substitute T is equal to 1 by 2, because in a year there are 2 half year, so 1 by 2. And in case of compounded quarterly, we put T is equal to 1 by 4. So in the first part, we are going to discuss compound interest by the repeated application of simple interest. Clear? So we'll discuss the problem. Let us discuss this problem. A man invests rupees 46,875. So I am just underlining the information given. 46,875 at 4% per annum CI for 3 years. That means this will become the principal. So we write P is equal to rupees 46,875, and rate of interest is equal to 4% per annum CI. 4% per annum CI, that means it is compounded annually at the rate of 4%. So first part is, we have to calculate the interest for the first year. So we apply the formula of SI. So for the first year, SI is equal to P, that is 46875, into rate PR for time. We are calculating for the first year, interest for the first year. So time will be equal to 1 by 100. We cancel 4, 25, and you can directly cancel with 25, or you can cancel with 5 and 5. If you cancel with 25, so 25 1 ja 25 So at the end of first year, we are getting an interest of 1875. So interest for the first year is rupees 1875. Now the second problem is the amount standing to his credit at the end of second year. That means whatever the total amount is credit at the end of second year. So we calculate amount, that is A for first year, is equal to P for second year. As I mentioned earlier, that at the end of first year, it is, since it is compounded per annum, compound interest. So at the end of first year, whatever the amount will be, that will become the principal for the next year. That's why I am writing A for first year, that is amount for first year, is equal to principal for second year. So we need to add with the P, that is 46,875 plus interest earned during the first year is 1875. So this will be equal to 48,750. 48,750 is the principal for the second year. Now for second year, we again apply the formula of SI. So 48,750 is P multiplied by rate of interest 4 time 1, because it is compounded annually, multiplied by 100. 425. If you cancel with 5 or 25, so at the end of second year, he gained an interest of rupees 1950. So amount at the end of second year, that is his credit at the end of second year. So it will be equal to, at the beginning of the second year, his principal become 48,750 and interest gained during this period is 1950. So if you add, you will get 50,700. So we complete this part. Now the next part is the interest for the third year. Now interest for the third year, amount at the end of second year will become the principal for the third year. So for third year, SI is equal to 5070 into 4 into 1 by 100. So if you multiply, so at the end of the interest for the third year is rupees 2028. Now if I recap the things or process how we are going to solve the problem. So it is a repeated application of the formulae of simple interest. See, at the end, each time we are applying the formula of simple interest. But the basic difference with the simple interest is, in simple interest your principal remains the same for the entire term, for the entire 3 years. But in compound interest, if you see, we are calculating for the first year, SI for the first year. Now here I like to mention time is equal to 1. We are not taking the time as 3 years. Each time we are calculating, taking that time is equal to 1 year. So at the beginning of there your principal is 46,875. So at the end of first year, whatever the interest earned is added with your principal. So amount at the end of a particular year will become the principal for the next term. So now see, at the end of first year, the principal amount is equal to 48,750. That will become the principal for the second year. On that principal, we are calculating the interest for the second year. Now interest again is 1950. That will added with your principal for that particular year. So that will become the amount for the second year. Now the amount for the second year will become the principal for the next term. So in this way we are going to calculate the compound interest using the formula of simple interest. Let us discuss another problem. The SI on a certain sum of money for 2 years at 12% per annum is rupees 1380. So this is the information given. It is given that the SI on a certain sum of money, that means for some principal, SI for 2 years at 12% per annum is given as 1380. So SI is given as rupees 1380. Time is given as 2 years and rate of interest is given as 12% per annum. So first part is we have to find out the sum of money. So we have to find out the sum of money. So we know P is equal to SI into 100 by R into T. So SI is equal to 1380 into 100. R is given as 12% and T is given as 2 years. So we'll cancel this one. 250. 12, if I cancel with 12, 12 1 ja 12, 1 8, 18. So 12 1 ja 12, 18 minus 12 6, 60, 12 5 ja. So P is equal to 5750. So using the first information, you need to, in compound interest, you need to read the sum very carefully so that you will get the correct information. So the SI on a certain sum of money. So you need to understand this is not the SI. This is a very common mistake student commits during the examination or during while doing the sum. Okay, this is principal. Since one amount is given, one principal or sum is given, so you will not consider this as a principal. So here it is given that the SI on a certain sum of money for 2 years at 12% per annum is rupees 380. So this is SI. So we find out the sum of money, that is 1750. Now the second part is the compound interest for 1 year. The compound interest for 1 year payable half yearly. Payable half yearly means at the end of first 6 months, whatever the interest gain that will add with your principal, the amount will become the principal for the next half year. Again I am repeating, interest for 1 year payable half yearly. That means the amount is the principal is 5750. After 6 months, that is T is equal to 1 by 2 year. 6 months, if you convert it into year, 6 by 12, that is 1 by 2. So it gains some interest. that interest will be added with 5750 for next half year, and this will be the total compound interest for 1 year payable half yearly at the same rate. Clear? That means at the end of each 6 months you are going to calculate the interest, and whatever the interest gain that will be added with the principal. So amount at the end of first half year or first 6 months will become the principal for the next half month. So for the first half year, SI is equal to 5750 into at the same rate. So rate is given as 12%. So 12% time is for the 6 month. So 6 month time is 6 by 12, that is 1 by 2. 1 by 2 into 100. 2, 6 ja 1 0 1 0 cancel. Now see, I am not cancelling this 10 because if denominator contains the t, so 575 divided by 10, it will become 57.5 into 6. So it will easier for you to calculate. So 57.5 into 6 is equal to 345. So amount at the end of first 1 by 2 year. So that will become the principal for the next half year. So P for next half year, and this is equal to 5750 plus 345. So that will become 6095 rupees. 6095. Clear? Now we are going to calculate for the next half year. For the next half year, SI is equal to, now see, the amount at the first half year will become the principal for the next half year. So 6095 into rate of interest is same, time is 1 by 2 into 100, 2 6 ja. Now I am not cancelling this 100 because directly 6095 divided by 100, so 60.95 into 6. So whenever denominator contains 10 or multiple of 10, don't go for the calculation, it will complicate your calculation part. Directly you adjust with the decimal. So 60.95 into 6 is equal to 365.70. 365.70. So the compound interest, we doesn't need to calculate the amount, we need to calculate the CI. So CI for 1 year. Now CI for 1 year is equal to, for the first 6 months, it is 345 rupees, and for the next 6 months interest is 365.70. So CI is equal to 710.70. As we did in the last sum, again we are doing it the same way. That first part we calculate the principal, we calculate payable half yearly. So we are calculating the interest for first 6 months, whatever the amount at the end of first 6 months, that will become the principal for the next 6 months, and we carry on with our application of simple interest formula repeated times to get the desired answer. Let us discuss another problem. Calculate the amount and CI on rupees 5,000 in 2 years at the rate of interest for successive year is 6% and 8% respectively. We have to calculate the amount and CI if 5,000 rupees deposited for 2 years when the rate of interest for the first year is 6% and for the second year is 8%. If I explain you through a flow chart, that means 5,000 rupees is deposited on compounded yearly basis. So at the first year you are getting interest at the rate of 6%. So at the end of first year your principal, you will get your principal converted into amount, and that amount will be the principal for the next year, and in the next year your rate of interest is 8%. Clear? So in the last sum, what we have discussed, the last sum, their rate of interest is same for the entire period, entire time frame. Now here the only difference is each time the process remains the same, each time your rate of interest is changing. For the first year it is 6% and for the second year it is 8%. So only in place of R, where you are substituting the same rate of interest, here the process remains the same. The only difference, you need to substitute the different values of R. So for the first year, SI is equal to P into R into T. 2 year compounded annually 1 by 100. So at the end of the first year your interest will be equal to 300 rupees. Now, so amount at the end of first year is equal to P for next year, and amount is equal to principal plus interest, that is 5,000 rupees was the initial principal and 300 rupees is the interest gained during the first year. So your amount at the end of first year or principal for the next year is 5,300 rupees. Now for the second year, SI is equal to 5,300 PRT by 100, we again apply 5,300 into R. Now usually rate of interest remains the same. Now here it is clearly mentioned for the first year it is 6 and for the second year it is 8. So into 8 into 1 by 100, we will cancel 2 0. So it will coming as 424 rupees. So amount at the end of second year is equal to 5300 plus 424, 5,724 rupees. And CI. So CI you can find it in two ways. Since the amount at the end of 2 years is 5,724 minus principal, that is 5,000, so you will get 724 rupees as a compound interest. Or at the end of first year your interest is 300 rupees, at the end of second year your interest is rupees 425, 424. So if you add these two, then also you are getting the compound interest. So rupees 300 plus 424. So your interest will be 724, or you can find out CI by amount minus principal, that is rupees 725. So see, the process remains the same, just the information you need to analyze, read the question carefully, and whatever the instruction is given, you follow the instruction. Let us discuss this problem. A man borrows rupees 6,000 at 5% compound interest. If he repays 1200 at the end of each year, find the amount outstanding at the beginning of second year. At the beginning of second year. If I first understood the problem, what is given here. Suppose a person take a loan of 6,000 rupees and the financial institution is charging rate at the 5% per annum. So at the end of first year, he need to pay certain amount. So we calculate the interest for the first year. So that will become the amount at the end of first year. Am I clear to everyone? That a person borrow a loan of 6,000 at 5% per annum. So at the end of first year, on this principal, certain interest will need to be paid. So that will become the amount to his credit at the end of first year. From that amount, he only pay 1200 rupees. So we subtract 1200 rupees from the outstanding amount at the end of first year. So that becomes the principal for the next year. Again 5% rate at the end of second year. This will accumulate, or this will become amount at the end of second year, and again the person is going to pay 1200 rupees. So whatever the money come here, or the once you subtract 1200, the amount comes here, so that will be the amount outstanding at the beginning of third year. At the beginning of third year means what is his total credit at the end of second year, and at the end of second year means that will be the principal for the beginning of the third year. So first we calculate SI for the first year, or we write as usual for the first year. P is equal to rupees 6,000, R is equal to 5%, so SI is equal to P R T, 1 year by 100. So 6,000 is the principal, 300 is the interest he need to pay. So amount at the end of first year is equal to 6,300. 6,000 plus 300. I am writing here 6,000 plus 300 is equal to 6,300. Repayment, he repays 1200, so we need to subtract repayment of 1200. So P for next year. So if you subtract these two, you are getting 3 minus 2 1, 6 minus 1 5. So at the end of first year, after the person make a prepayment of 1200 rupees, the principal become the principal for the next year is equal to 5100 rupees. First part is clear to everyone. Now we calculate for the second year. For the second year. For the second year, SI is equal to P 5100 rupees into R into T by 100 rupees 225. So amount at the end of second year is equal to 5100 plus 255. This is the principal and the interest charge on this person is rupees 255. So this will become 5355. Again he is going to pay 1200 rupees. So repayment is equal to 1200. So amount outstanding at the beginning of third year. So we will get amount outstanding at the beginning of third year is equal to, if you subtract these two, so you are getting 4155 rupees. The only difference with the last sum is at the end of each year the person is going to pay some amount. You just need to subtract. After that part, after getting the difference, that will become the principal for the next year. So that's all for today. In the next episode, we are going to discuss finding the compound interest and amount using the formula. I discuss all the type of problem in this episode. Solve the remaining problem from your exercise. And if you find any difficulties, write down the question number or the question in the comment box. We'll solve the problem and upload it in the next video. Thank you very much.